Hey there, welcome to another Inner Circle Speed Coaching session. I'm Frank Smorelli, and in this session, I'm going to be sharing with you the power of maximizing your trial sessions, something that most personal trainers don't really think about or implement correctly to increase their sales conversions. So let's get straight into it. Most personal trainers offer trial sessions. I know many trainers that offer two, three, four, and even five trial sessions, be it one on one, semi private, or team PT, which is typically regarded as 6 to 10 clients in a group setting. Most personal trainers simply don't maximize these sessions to increase their conversions. They either take the prospect through a fluffy session, train the prospect far too hard, or they don't simply, they're simply not interested in the session. I see this all the time with personal trainers that are giving PT sessions to cover from a health club owner manager as part of their health club initiation process. Irrespective of who's organized the trial session or who the prospect is, the key is to follow our 5 step system for creating killer trial sessions that effectively draw the person being trained into a closed sale. Number one. Number one is taking the prospect through a great PT session. All trainers should be doing an initial consultation with the potential client. This services main things like goals, exercise history, and whether the prospect has had any injuries. This form, or more specifically, the answers to the questions in this form, will give you enough quality information to do a quality personal training session. Ensure that the prospect builds up a nice sweat, but certainly don't push them too hard. I like 30-minute trial sessions for two main reasons. A. It's enough time for the prospect to get a feel of your personality and training style. And B. It doesn't bog you down for too long. For example, you can do 4 trial sessions in 2 hours as opposed to 2 sessions in 2 hours if you're doing 60-minute sessions. I remember doing a specific trial session with a 40-year-old male back in the late 90s. I think it was about 98. He kept talking about how fit he was and how strong he was and how hard he used to train in the army. Maybe my ego took the better of me, so I decided to train him a little harder than I would normally with a person that probably wasn't going on about their fitness and their strength as much as he was. Well, look, to be quite honest, I actually smashed him during the 45-minute session. The result was he was white as a ghost and he ended up throwing up. He spent the last kind of 5 or 7 minutes in the session throwing up. So it wasn't a great session at all. The moral of the story was that a quality session doesn't mean a super hard session. Don't project your own training intensity or levels onto the prospect. I see this so often in the fitness industry. Make sure that you're doing the session align with what the client actually wants to achieve. You're not meant to be projecting your own training styles and your own training intensity on the actual client. And I was living proof. And my staff used to rib me about that particular session. This gentleman, as I mentioned, was about 40 years old and his heart rate got up to about 205, 210. And again, like I mentioned before, my ego probably got the best of me and we didn't end up closing that particular client. Number two, keep the prospect engaged in conversation about their goals, not what you did on the weekend or what you're going to do. Ensure that you have a very good understanding of what they want to achieve with you and within what time frame. Another quick comment about goals. If you're doing trial sessions with a female wanting to lose weight, don't set up your session based on low repetition resistance training. On the flip side, if you're doing a trial session with a male wanting to put on 5 kilos or 10 pounds of lean muscle, you wouldn't be taking him out for a 30-minute run. I know this sounds obvious, but I've seen some crazy stuff happen in the fitness industry over the last 22 years. Align your trial session with the prospect's goals, not with your own individual goals. Make sure that the session is aligned with their specific wants and needs. Okay, number three, you must learn to ask pre-close questions. Pre-close or trial questions are soft questions intended to understand and assess the prospect's readiness to make a purchase decision. Pre-close questions provide an opportunity for the discussion of any additional remaining topics before you and the prospect proceed to the price presentation and closing sequence. The key here is to get as many yes frames from the prospect as possible. Asking pre-close questions should be a part of every single trial session you do, as you want to get as many yes frames or answers as possible. This puts the prospect in a more positive and energetic state. And it's also a great way to confirm that they are pleased with the actual session, rather than finding out during the price presentation that they're actually not happy with the session and they're not happy with the price. Here are 5 of my favorite pre-close questions for personal trainers. Number 1, you would simply ask during the trial trial session, Sarah, will you be walking or driving to the studio or club? Number 2, Sarah, can you see yourself working out with me to achieve your specific health and fitness goals? I love that one. Number 3, do you feel that 2 or 3 sessions per week would be better suited for you? This is a fantastic question because it allows you to understand what you need to do at the price presentation. If Sarah turns around and says, hey Frank, look, I think two sessions a week, Tuesday, Thursday is going to suit me really, it's going to suit me down on the ground with the kids and I do some part-time work. So I think 2 is perfect fit. You're not going to present 3 or 4 sessions per week at the price presentation point when she's actually verbally told you that 2 sessions suit her. So that's a fantastic pre-close question. Number 4, will you be exercising before or after work? Another really simple pre-close question, but it actually works. Number 5, last one. Are you thinking about training with a buddy, or is this something that you want to do on your own? The answers to these questions will give you an insight into the types of concerns you may need to overcome. It's best to spread your pre-close questions out during the trial session. At this stage, it's good to maintain a really strong level of rapport, which makes the price presentation much easier and more comfortable for both you and the prospect. Number 4, talk to the prospect about adding future value to the personal training program. This is actually called future pacing. I love this concept. So here's an example. Sarah, if you join or sign up today on my Platinum program, I would like to organize some free coaching for you, some free food coaching. So if you join today, I would like to organize free food coaching for the first 30 days. This will allow you to achieve your weight loss goals much faster. Would that be okay? Wait for the yes frame. By mentioning to the prospect that you will add more value if they join today gives you a much better chance of closing that particular sale. Adding future value could also include free personal training sessions, half price to your next body transformation challenge, and even some physical or tangible products. I love when personal trainers add value to the sale. This can be introduced during the trial session. Again, it's called future pacing. In fact, I'd go to the extent of saying, whenever you do your next trial session, say to the client, Sarah, what I'd like to do, if you actually join today, I would like to organize A or B. So give them almost give them an option to choose. It could be 30 days of free coaching, or could be an additional 2 free sessions for the first 2 weeks, depending on what your conversion tools are. But mention that during the trial session. You'll find that your conversion ratio will quickly jump up. Last one, number 5, always assume the sale. This is an old sales strategy. Here's an example. Sarah, when you come in later this week, I may be finishing up with a client. Please jump straight onto the treadmill to warm up so you can get the maximum out of your session with me. Here's a few more examples. Sarah, when would you like to start the program, this week or next? You can also say something like this. Sarah, when would you like to start the program, this Tuesday or this Thursday? In sales jargon, it's called the double bind. Last one. Sarah, would you like to start with 2 personal training sessions or 3? So I love that as an assumptive technique, but I also love that, as I mentioned previously a few minutes ago, as a pre-close question. I think it's fantastic because it actually sets up the price presentation. Again, Sarah, would you like to start with 2 personal training sessions or 3? At the very end of your trial session, you simply finish up, thank the prospect, and ask what we refer to as the final question. Here we go. Sarah, apart from membership affordability, is there any other questions that I can help you with today? If the prospect says no, you have simply eliminated 90% of objections. In theory, the only objection you're going to get is now based on price. If the prospect comes up with an objection straight after the final question, you must deal with it and overcome that specific objection before you sit down and go into the price presentation. So dealing with objections is another speed coaching session in module 2. It's called Overcoming Any Objection with IHP. Please check it out. Overcoming Any Objection with IHP. Okay, once you've dealt with any objections straight after the trial session, you are ready for your professional price presentation. Again, there is a specific speed coaching session on this exact topic in Module 2. Please check it out. Following our 5-step system for creating killer trial sessions that effectively draw the person being trained into a closed sale basically means more clients, and more clients means more money. The added marketing benefit is that you are also maximizing your marketing dollars because you're converting more of your leads generated by marketing. This is always great business for your PT business. If you want and need more clients for your personal training business, then ensure you maximize your trial sessions by following the 5 steps shared in this training video. Ultimately, it will mean more money, and more money for your business means that you can actually put more money back into marketing. So the whole thing is self-perpetuating. Please follow the 5-step system. Go through this video again, make some notes, but I can guarantee you by following the 5-step, we call this a blueprint, by following this blueprint, I can guarantee your conversions ratios will jump up to 10, 15, and even up to 20%. Well, that's it for another Inner Circle speed coaching session. Look out for other coaching sessions within this module, Module 2, which will also assist you with all things sales. Please remember, as always, information without implementation is just that, information. But when you take massive action, it produces great results. Bye for now.